Hallelujah. Well, I was expecting that today. I want to expect more of it too. I think God's stirring things up. He needs to stir us up as a people. We we can't just sit around anymore and expect the ordinary thing. We need to, as you said, we need to be extraordinary. We need to see the unexpected. We need to see Him move. You still can't hear me? Okay. All right, that's better. So, like Brittany, she spoke about the two opinions about Pesach last week. So I kind of want to go back to that a little bit and give a little demonstration what it means to be of two opinions. Because Yah wants us to be of one mind, one opinion, and we need to stop being of two opinions. So I mean, the word Pesach. Well, I'll start the next thing here. So Exodus 12:11. This is how you eat it: with your loins girded, sandals on your feet. You shall eat it in haste. It is the Passover of Yehovah. However you want to pronounce his name. I don't think it matters to him as long as we try to pronounce it, do our best to understand who he is. So Pesach is a Pesamic and Ket. The Strong's is to mean Strong's number 6452, to hop, skip over, to hesitate, limp, dance, halt, game lane, leap, or pass over. So hopefully this doesn't mess things up, but this is what it means to hop back and forth. Good, evil, good, evil, evil, good. What does that sound like to you? A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. You know, I could say that's been my life. Yeah. We've eaten from that tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God's trying to bring us back to his kingdom and to what he has, the life that he has for us. The pay is the mouth, the picture of the mouth, your speech, what you say, what comes out of your mouth. It is important. Your actions should measure up to what your mouth speaks. Yah never says anything that he doesn't do. We should be the same way. So often we say things haphazardly. I mean, I know I have in the past. You say things that you want to do, but really you don't have the power to do them sometimes. I mean, I've been guilty of that. Yeah, you know, Yah's good to steer me and to help me to understand that not to be too quick to speak, you know, and so we need to learn to listen before we speak. I think we need to hear what he's wanting to do, what he's wanting to say. And I'm anticipating his spirit moving here. The Psalmic, a prop or support. My notes says lower light, but it should say tower. A tower lighthouse. Sound the alarm. That's what the Psalmic in Pesach. The scripture says not to hide your light under the bushel. Those who had the blood on the door were Psalmic. They were propped up, supported, a lighthouse, safe haven. They were fenced in. If the firstborn crosses over the threshold of the door to go outside, they would have died. So basically, they knew the boundaries, what the boundary lines were. We need to do the same thing. We need to live this thing out in every way possible. We need not shrink back, be afraid. That's been going through my head all week, not to fear. God doesn't want me to fear. I mean, it's not easy for me to get up here and do this because I'm not a speaker. I'm not, I don't believe I have the gift of speaking, but I know that I can if I need to. I know, it's not an easy thing. I'm an uneducated man that I want Yah to use me. I want him to use me in extraordinary ways that I've never been able to do before. We need to step out of our comfort zone. Peter stepped out of the boat. He was the only one that stepped out the comfort zone to go walk on the waters. We need to walk on these waters. His word is the water of life. So Ket, the fence, the boundary line, being fenced in or out, as Brittany said last week. I'm going to read Devarim, just Deuteronomy 5:4, verse 5, chapter 5, verse 4 through 21. We should all know it pretty well. I'm just going to read it. Yahuwah spoke with you face to face on the mountain from the midst of the fire. I stood between Yahuwah and you at the time to declare to you the word of Yahuwah. For you were afraid because of the fire, and you did not go up the mountain, saying, I am Yahuwah your Elohim who brought you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the house of bondage. You have no other mighty one against my face. You do not make for yourself a carved image, any likeness of which is in the heavens above, or which is in the earth beneath, or which is in the waters under the earth. You do not bow down to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the crookedness of fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing kindness to thousands, to those who love me and guard my commands. You do not bring the name of Yahuwah, your Elohim, to naught, for Yahuwah does not leave him unpunished who brings his name to naught. Guard the Sabbath day to set it apart as Yahuwah, your Elohim, commanded you. 6 days you labor and shall do all your work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath for Yahuwah, your Elohim. You do not do any work, you nor your sons, nor your daughters, nor your male servants, nor your female servants, nor your ox, nor your donkey, nor your cattle, nor your stranger who is within your gates, so that your male servant and your female servant rest as you do. And you shall remember that you were a slave in the land of Mitzrayim, and that Yahuwah your Elohim brought you out from there by a strong hand and by an outstretched arm. Therefore, Yah your Elohim command you to observe the Sabbath day. Respect your father and your mother. And Yahuwah your Elohim has commanded you so that your days shall prolong, and so that it is well with you within the soil which Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you. You believe that? He's given us soil through our forefathers. he's He's going to uphold his word. It might not seem like it because none, a lot of us don't have much and we're just doing our best to get by, but he's going to do it. I believe one day I'll be where he wants me to be. Right now, he wants me to be here talking to you. And right now, and we need to work together to be. I think he's doing something here, like Dave said. I mean, just what we accomplished, what y'all accomplished through all of us on the red line with the play and all that. That's what he expects. Expects us to do that. To start doing the things he's calling us to do so that others may know what we know. We don't want to leave one stone unturned here. We want to see all come to the knowledge of the truth. I mean, there's a lot of misunderstandings, I think. So I'm going to read the last part. It says, do not murder, do not commit adultery, do not steal, do not bear false witness against your neighbor. You do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor desire your neighbor's house, his field, nor his male servant, nor his female servant, his ox, his donkey, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. These words Yahuwah spoke to all the assembly in the mountain from the midst of the fire, of the cloud and the thick darkness, with a loud voice, and he added no more. And he wrote them on 2 tablets of stone and gave them to me, which is Moshe. Well, we all know what Yeshua's done. He's taken these 2 tablets of stone and he's engraved them in our hearts. I don't know about you, but he's been doing that for the last 20-some years with me. He's been etching them into my heart. It's been a long process. It's been, a lot of chastisement, a lot of, correction, and that's how much he loves us. He wants us to pay attention to this stuff. Okay, so these commands, these are like goalposts, if you will, that the rest of the Torah hinges on. These are like the fence posts. The 10 Commandments are like a fence post. You put them around for us as landmarks and the rest, the other 603 commands in the old, hinges upon these 10. Yeshua, he went further, and he said, you take these 10 commands, you divide them up into 2. Love him with all your heart, mind, strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. Let people misunderstand this. The whole Torah is based on love. It's loving our neighbor. It's not hating him. It's not doing wrong by him. Why wouldn't we want to do this? So the children of Israel passed over many things. They passed over from death to life. The Red Sea, which is from a form of baptism, by washing through water. Water represents the word that washes and cleanses us from all unrighteousness. The 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. Each letter brings a representation of Messiah and his Torah, his Dabar, his word. What I want to do, show them that picture of my car. This was incredible because when I was me and Gene were doing my notes, we were just busy trying to get these up on printed out. Printed out from this is my scribbling right here, see, and it's like hodgepodge. And I was trying to organize it on the computer. When I was doing that, Something incredible happened. And that I don't look at it as a coincidence at all. I don't look at it as a coincidence, but these are my car. God's trying to tell me something. He's trying to tell me that I'm his, and that his word is there. You know, his bees. And he wants me to step out in ways that I can't even describe. I'm not going to be afraid anymore. But this is a sign. This is a sign. You know, I believe it with all my heart. That's the bar. That's the word. And these bees, this is a colony, okay? This has a queen to there's a system in the midst of this, in the midst of this. That's how he wants us to be. He wants us to be working together for one purpose, for his purpose, his kingdom. Put away the selfish things that we desire so that his kingdom is built up upon us in this world. It's going to come down to two kingdoms, and who's going to be a part of Yah's kingdom upon this earth? It's us right here in this room. So, we are passing over from darkness to light. Each year when we do this, we get new insight, more understanding. We're going to do Shemot 12:34. I'm going to read it. The people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading bowls being bound on their clothes upon their shoulders. So if we read that, that just sounds something simple in the English. But Yah says it like this. Nasa, Besates, Clement, the Sharif, Tezrah, Simla, Shechem. Okay. So this is what it means. This is what I felt like it means. It goes beyond the natural, the physical natural of the dough. To me, the dough represents the heart of the man. Is bound right here on the back, on the shoulder. People needed to bear up, take away, forgive before the unleavened became leavened. Leavened means to be sour, embittered or grieved, to take that which swells, to bind it in a covering upon their shoulder or back. This implies if they did not leave quickly, their unleavened heart would become leavened again because of the bondage they were under. Even though Pharaoh said for them to go, he didn't want to let them go. He was forced to let them go because of what had happened to the firstborn of Egypt. I think he would have changed his mind because he hunted them down like a mighty hunter hunts for his prey with the uttermost hatred to kill them all. Well, I can testify in my life that I've been trying to do myself in all this time. That's my testimony. My testimony, I've been trying to kill myself off with the uttermost hatred. You know, Yah's ways are not our ways. His ways are higher than our ways. And his thoughts than my thoughts. That's what I've been struggling with all my life. What are his thoughts? What are his ways? So I think the Torah is clear here that we do these things, and then he adds to it. He tells us where to go, to do this or that, to say this or that. But until we get this right, we won't. Sorry. Until we get this right, we won't be saying any much of anything that's of value. And also our words have to measure up to what our actions are. Is our actions speaking the same thing our words are saying? I've been in situations, I mean, Dave knows, Fred knows, I mean, we've been in situations that the words weren't matching up to the actions. Now, I don't need to name names or anything, but I think everyone knows who they are. And if they don't, they better find out from Yah real quick, because judgment's about to come. And if he doesn't judge you in his mercy now, then he's going to judge you later in the wrath to come. Leaven is that which is established outside of Yah's plan or purpose for your life. It only becomes, see, the leaven is not Yah's purpose. That's outside of Yah's purpose. But he uses the leaven to chastise us. He uses the bitterness and the bondage to bring us around. If we, okay, this is my shirt doing this in there. Sorry, guys. Hello? You guys hear me now? What I want to do is I'm going to reach Shemoth, which is Exodus 14:21. And Moshe stretched out his hand over the sea. Yah caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind. All that night, it made the sea into dry land, and the waters were divided. So I'm going to say this Hebrew phrase, what I just said, except for the part of Moshe stretching out his hand. I'm going to start with the strong east wind. As Kadim, Ruach, Leilil, Sum, Yom, Kavara, Mayim, Bekah. There's a strong, mighty, fierce wind through the breath of his spirit, Ruach. At night, a protective shadow to put or appoint the Red Sea on dry land. The waters were split, divided. That's a pretty powerful statement, I think. This is something of the Ruach. In the shadows, the Ruach's working, the wind is blowing. How many of us would be willing to go to the coast when it's really windy? Not only just go through the coast, but also go through a path that was made for you. I mean, it says a strong, fierce wind. It had to blow those waters to separate them. How many of us, it's like hurricane weather. How many of us are willing to go through that? Those are things we got to think about. We got to think about how willing are we? What's stopping us from going any farther? Okay. To go through the waters of chaos, the birthing canal is to be reborn, having a new life. This is one side of the waters. The waters are divided in two. So on one hand, we're going through this canal to get to the other side, to experience a reborn, a new life, being born again. You know, that's been a big favorite phrase all of our lives, to be born again. What does it mean to be born again? What do you got to go through to be born again? We got to go through a lot of things to be born again. We're just scratching the surface. There's a lot of hard work ahead of us of getting involved in His Word, and that's my commitment. That's why I'm up here today, because I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do the effort to find out what Yah's trying to speak to me personally, and also to everybody else. So Pharaoh will find his end, the result, destruction and death, not just for himself, but the whole nation of Egypt. The Pharaoh's, that's the other side. That's the other side of the waters, is judgment. If we're not going to find rebirth, to be born a new life, to have new life with His Word, then we're going to find judgment and death. The word ruach is resh, vav, ket. The resh man, the righteous one who vavs you in the fence, connecting you to the fence. You can be fenced in or out. The ruach is what fences us in or out. Your own breath will fence you in or out. Yeah. I want to be on the right side of the fence. I want to be involved into Yah's ways and what He has. We're only going to get there if we understand His Torah, His instructions, His commands, whatever you want to call them. It's all the same thing. We need to understand it through the language. This is my feeble attempt to do that. What I want to do too is I want to read Romans. Romans 8. And Romans is a book, I think, that's written by Paul, right? Yeah. Paul wrote this. So anybody that says Torah isn't for today is wrong. That they need to find out what the Torah is saying before they keep saying that the Torah has been done away with. Because this passage of Scripture will prove to you that it does. There is then now no condemnation for those who are in Messiah Yeshua. You want to say Jesus Christ? Say Jesus Christ. I say His Hebrew name, Yeshua, the Mashiach, the Anointed One, the King of Israel, the King that's coming for a kingdom. He's not coming for a sole individual that's done everything right. He's coming for a people that's trying to do it right and trying to work together. He's coming for that. He's coming for his kingdom. How do you walk according to the flesh? But, okay, let me start off. Who does not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit? So basically, there's no condemnation if you're walking by his Spirit. But if we're walking by the flesh, if we're trying to do this in the flesh, we're going to fail every time. This goes beyond your flesh. This goes beyond our own offenses, our things that we hold dear to our hearts. This goes beyond that. It goes beyond even our own family. If our own family, whether they make it through or not, we're all going to be tested. We're all tested to go through the Red Sea, to go through the waters of division that are divided. That's what we're doing right now. This just came to my mind as I speak. It just came to my mind as we were speaking. Those waters that are divided, that's us. We're a divided people. Because we want what we want instead of what he wants. For the Torah, the Spirit of life in Messiah Yeshua, has set me free from the law of sin and death. I'm getting distracted by this thing. Sorry, guys. For the Torah being powerless in that it was weak through the flesh. The Torah isn't powerless. It's just weak through the flesh. That's why he sent the Spirit. His Spirit is what makes it strong. But where we are weak, he is strong. You know, we have to understand that the Torah is perfect. Because he spoke it out. Elohim, having his own son in the likeness of the flesh of sin and concerning sin, condemned sin in the flesh. So he condemned us in the flesh. So if we want to live by the flesh, we're condemned. We're dead already. And we will die if we don't find out what his Spirit is saying to each one of us individually. Because I believe that's what the Torah is. The Torah is your own personal walk and relationship with Yah Almighty above. The good and the bad. The hopping back and forth. I wouldn't have learned what it means to do good or to do evil if it wasn't for the Torah. If it wasn't for, I wouldn't be up here saying what I'm saying now. Because I wouldn't know. I'd be ignorant. But I'm far from ignorant anymore. God's expecting way too much of me. I got to be willing. I need to be a willing vessel. So that the righteousness of the Torah shall be complete in us. Who did not walk according to the flesh, but according to the Spirit. Did you hear what I said? So that the righteousness of the Torah shall be complete in us. Yeshua has made this. I guess I got to change my. Yeshua's made this possible through what he's done for us. He's accomplished, he's completed the Torah. He was the walking Torah on earth, and he completed the penalty for us so that we may have the Spirit,
that we may be living by the Spirit. And I think everyone in here is trying to do that. I believe His Spirit is moving. I believe we're doing what the bee is doing. We are working together for His purpose, not our own. You know, I'm saying what I'm saying to encourage you to go further and to. There's always more. We're not done until we're done. And He's not done. He's not ever done. I mean, He's continually to blow us away. I woke up. What time I woke up this morning? This is another confirmation. I didn't tell anybody this. I woke up at 5:55 in the morning. That's what my clock said when I woke up. 5:55. So, man, what are you trying to tell me? Yeah. When I said it to Jean, she says, "Oh, that means favor." Yeah. Also, it's the letter Hey in the Hebrew alphabet, and it's like His Spirit. It's the whisper. What I'm whispering to you now, are you going to obey? Or it's the shout on the mountaintops and declare the declaration that what He's done, what He's going to do. I believe He's going to heal each and every one of us. Do we believe it? I believe He's going to restore us to His fullness and the likeness of Himself. But we got to know and understand what this is saying. Okay. For those who live according to the flesh, set their mind on the matters of the flesh. But those who live according to the Spirit, the matters of the Spirit. For the mind of the flesh is death, but the mind of the Spirit is life and peace. Because the mind of the flesh is enmity towards Elohim, for it does not subject itself to the of Elohim, neither indeed is it able. Those who are in the flesh are unable to please Elohim. So, this is why I believe we need to. I'm talking to whatever TV audience I got too, or whoever's watching on the internet. Because when we mix our traditions and our own ideas into His word, we're either adding to it or taking away from it. Our own selfish, self-centered ambitions or motives. We miss the mark. You know, God doesn't like mixing His word with our stuff. You know, that's why we need to know what is our stuff that we got to work out and work on, and what is His ways, because His ways are higher. They're a lamp unto our feet, a light unto our path. You know, these are scriptures I read for years. The amazing thing about it, I can quote the scripture, but I can't tell you where I found it. So if you ask, "Oh, where did you find that scripture?" Well, I probably most likely wouldn't be able to tell you where I found it, but I know it's there because I read it. Yeah, and I've meditated on these things for a long time. This is what keeps me alive. If I don't have this, I'm just dead. I'm nothing. You know. The thing is, in Revelations, it talks about the lukewarm, right? It says, "Be either hot or cold, but lukewarm, I'll spew you out of my mouth." That's what lukewarmness is mixing. little bit of this, a little bit of that. It's like conjuring up like some witch's brew or something. You know, serious. I mean, we're conjuring up something that's not there if we mix our stuff with his stuff. That's why we need to, like Dave and Brittany, everyone says, get in the word, get into the language. That's what I've been trying to do, and it's like it blows you away. All the things that come to your mind, all the new revelations that you get. To me, it's amazing. And then Yah confirms it with bees and with numbers. Yeah, it's awesome. Okay. We missed the mark, right? Submit yourself first to Yah, then to others. Because I guarantee you, if you submit yourself to others, you won't be worth nothing if you haven't already submitted to Yah first. We're not going to do the right things if we're just submitting to one another and doing stuff and we're walking, but we're not submitting ourselves to him and his word. It's going to be useless. It's going to be made void. It's just going to blow in the wind. Clothe yourselves first with humility. We do not point the finger and say you need to do this, this, and this. We trust in Yah's Ruach. He tells us to take the log out of our own eye first so that we can see clearly. This is that whole thing. Take the log out of your eye first so you can take the speck out of your brother's eye. That's a Hebrew idiom. I mean, I think you guys all know what Hebrew idioms are, but that's a Hebrew idiom. I'm going to tell you another Hebrew idiom too, is that an evil eye. What's an evil eye? The evil eye is a stingy eye. That's what the Hebrew idiom is. So if we're not giving Yah his due with our pocketbooks, with not just our pocketbooks, with our time, with what we have, what he's given us, you only have what you have because he's given it to you. So stop taking care of yourself and start taking care of the believers and start working with one another to accomplish what he wants to accomplish. Not what you think you should accomplish, but what he wants to accomplish through you, just by giving things up. What did he tell the rich man? What did he tell the rich man? He said to sell everything he had and give it to the poor. You know, he couldn't do it. But I believe there are wealthy people out there that are willing to do it. But you got to do it for the right reason. You got to do it for him. You got to do it because he tells you. And you got to do it to who he tells it to you. We need to be careful. The waters are divided. There's a lot of people claiming to be this and that, claiming to be hearing from him, but are not. So we need to be careful. Okay, I want to read this last bit in Romans 14 through 19. I don't know what time it is, but for as many are led by the Spirit of Elohim, these are sons of Elohim. For you do not receive the spirit of bondage again to fear, but you receive the spirit of adoption, by whom we cry out, Abba, Father. The Spirit himself bears witness with our spirit that we are children of Elohim. And if children, also heirs, truly heirs of Elohim, and co-heirs with Messiah, if indeed we suffer with him, in order that we also be exalted together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worth comparing with the esteem that is to be revealed in us. For the intense longing of creation eagerly waits for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. You guys believe that? I want to know if you guys believe that you're sons of Elohim. I want to hear it. I want to hear if you're a son. We got to walk it out. We got to do it. God's telling us to do this together. We're suffering together. You know, I want to see Yah heal my brother. I want to see Yah do great and powerful things, not just in our midst, but in the midst of other colonies, bee colonies that he's establishing. He's establishing what he's establishing here. But this ain't the only place, I guarantee you that. I always thought, 20-some years ago, I always thought I was the only one doing the Torah. Well, sure. So I thought I was, man, I must be really good. I must be something. Because I'm the only one seeing this stuff. That was in my mind. God wanted to get rid of that garbage real quick. He doesn't want us to hang on to that baggage. We got to do this thing together. I don't care how long you've done Torah or how little you've done it. It doesn't matter. None of it matters. This is, you know the parables of the workers, those who worked all day and those who came later. Doesn't matter. They all been given the same wage. Come on, man. We're in this together. I don't care how early or how late. Yah doesn't care either. Sometimes that just means he needs to work on you a little harder. Anyways, that's all I have.